Hello again. Look, I'm sorry, I promised to talk about time travel. I'm not sure who's out there watching this stuff, but I've got to do it right, and I need to use my computer to show you too much. So I'm just new to this video thing. Um, I'm not going to do a half cooked um, presentation. It's 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 technical, it's specific, it's visually referenced. I can't avoid that. So I've decided to talk about something else. It's been brewing for a bit. Uh, the concept of the third person. All right. Now, I've already mentioned that Terrence and Dennis appear to have sensed the presence of this third entity. I've misspoken in the sense that they didn't meet the third person, the third entity. They didn't actually. They sensed the presence of it. Um, Now, this is why I'm hesitant to talk too much about the details of the encounter I had with the third dude. As I said, I spent many hours, we spent many hours with this thing. Anyway, I'm going to just then let's go through some descriptions from psychedelic literature that may give us a little bit of a way in to what are we talking about? What is the third person? Okay, I'm going to start with Oliver Sacks, actually. Um, his book, Hallucinations. So we're looking at the last chapter. The last chapter is, sorry. Anyway, it is what it is. Okay. Let's start with an analogy. Let's just build a picture. You can smell the smoke somewhere, right? Then you can see the smoke, right? Then you don't just smell the smoke and see the smoke, you actually go to the fire. So, in a sense, we're talking about a spectrum. From on one side, you have no sense of smoke. You don't smell it, you don't see it, so you're not even in the picture, but you're on the spectrum. Then we've got someone who can smell the smoke. All right. More concretely, one can see the smoke. I can see where the actual smoke's coming from now. I went around the hill and I could see it. Then you're obviously you've identified the location by identifying the fire itself. Now, I want to think about the third person perhaps in a similar spectrum. Okay, so let me just read a little bit out from Oliver Sacks. God bless him. The feeling that someone is there, to the left or the right, perhaps just behind us, is known to us all. It is not just a vague feeling, it is a distinct sensation. He goes on. The sensed presence, the invisible companion, the third man, the shadow person, all sorts of terms are used, is well aware of us and has definite intentions, whether these are benign or malignant. The shadow stalking us has something in mind, and it is this sense of its intentionality or agency which either raises the hair on our neck or produces a sweet, calm feeling of being protected, not alone. All right, so this is from Oliver Sacks, a brilliant man who studied the mind in great depth and at its outer limits. So that's interesting coming from him. All right. Now, there's another famous book. It's called Be Here Now. And if anyone knows the whole story of Richard Alpert, hence Dr. Richard Alpert, hence Ramdas, who I did meet in Denver in 1994, going back a bit. Who is the witness? 1. It is a part of the rational mind. As such, it is only useful up to a point, the point at which you go through the doorway. When you go through the doorway, you merge with the One, the eternal witness, Buddha consciousness. 2. The witness could be thought of as an I, and the I as in the letter, which sees, though it does not look. That is, it is not an active thing. It just sees it all happening. 3. The witness is not evaluative. It does not judge your actions. It merely notes them. It just notices what's going on. That's all. All right. 4. The witness is always in the here and now, which is what I'm calling the frame, the here and now. Modern physics will probably tell you that there is no here nor no now. But anyone who's taken psychedelics will disagree. Where those two opposing lines of thought will eventually meet, I'm not sure. But anyway, yes, it lives in each instant of living. It is well to keep in mind that whatever device you choose as a third focal point, it is a temporary crutch. It is dualistic in nature. Once you have successfully broken identification with the doer and are solely the witness or a servant of Krishna or whatever, then you must go through the final step in which servant and master, witness and that which is witnessed become one. Okay, so that's from an interesting bit of psychedelic literature. You know, Be Here Now. If you don't know Be Here Now, you don't know psychedelic literature. I'm not being a smart ass. That's just, it's 101 type stuff. Now, I've also mentioned John Lilly previously. I haven't gone into a deep dive with him, but maybe we start here with something. Now, anyone who knows Lilly knows of his concepts like the human biocomputer and dolphins and float tanks and the movie Altered States. Okay, now, at the beginning of the, again, another famous literature, bit of literature from the psychedelic world, the center of the cyclone, it's seminal. He talks, page 15, this is interesting, he's denoting after talking about, it gets complicated, but talking about his experience with whatever he was using. The fair witness is a mode of functioning of the biocomputer in which the self-meta-programmer remains uninvolved and objective, recording whatever happens without editing or censoring. Later, the recording is reproduced on demand, exactly, unedited and uncensored. Everyone has a fair witness. Some persons must unbury him. Okay. The last bit is like that's John Lilly signing off, right? But he has a very structured approach to what he thinks the witness is. Yes, and as I said, I haven't gone into depth with John Lilly yet. I'm wondering whether I should. either way, look, let me just continue with the third person. So what do we think about these ideas? It is interesting. I wonder if when you sit on that spectrum, sometimes you get the feeling it's you. Like it's always been in you, and it's along for the ride and it's watching everything. Even though we know how fallible memory is. But yeah, so what is the function of the third person? And is that function that we're talking about almost internally, how external is that? All right. Now, if you want to push the concept of a third person into more things like physics, we start to talk about observers and yeah, observers is the most appropriate word to use in physics. I wonder if in other fields the term witnessing, I wonder if it becomes more popular, maybe in more religious circles. I'm not sure. And to what extent is it external to us? I mean, this is what Terrence was trying to say during that event at La Chorrera. He had to he had to trust his gut that this thing's actually external, right? And yet we're so used to having contact with it, then we go, hang on, that's not really an external thing. And maybe the more external it gets, the more foreign it appears, and yet it knows everything about you and all this. Anyway, so if we look at something even as simple as simple as the special theory of relativity put forward by Albert Einstein. Now, if you read into the details of him trying to give the examples by having people on a train, a moving train, and that you've got then an observer, a third person. You need two people on the train, right? That's how it was set up. Two people separated by distance, which remains constant, but the whole train is moving, and someone's on the land next to them, watching what happens simultaneously. I mean, that's it. It's the clincher down there. The requirement for this invented observer, this third person, how important it actually is. We maybe underestimate how important it is. Okay, look, yeah, I don't really want to talk about what the third dude looked like from my perspective. But as I just tried to describe using the special theory of relativity example of the two people on the train and the one person off to the side, right? Now, obviously, if there was my friend and myself, we were the two on the train, so to speak. No one was moving, but there was this triangular distancing that was required. And if you also think about relativity, you can see why a certain triangular shape would be important and also fruitful, more beneficial than just to have it anywhere on. I don't want to get too. You have to think about you have to go look up how Einstein set up relativity, the special theory of relativity, trying to use these thought experiments, and the one was the trains. The train, two people on the train, and whether the bolt of lightning hits each one at the end of the train or the front of the train. The simultaneity between those on the train is not the same then as the observer who's standing on the hill, watching the train go past. And okay, so but the positioning of that third person, if you think about it, let's say, let's just say, I'm going to leave it there because I don't want to say too much, and I'm not just dangling carrots. We need to build up to this. And again, I apologize for not doing time travel. I'm going to get onto it, but it requires more visual because it gets a little bit technical, not mind-blowing, just a little bit technical. You really need to know. And then you go, oh, okay, got it. See ya.